1, 2. You hear the clock ticking. Tick tock. You about to stop living. Tick tock. I want you to remember me. Tick tock. But the dead don't have no memory. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me. Nobody can hold me. Nobody control me. I'm coming. I'm here to do my thing. I'm here to bring the pain. I'm never ever gonna change. I'm coming.
Hey folks, Evil DM. I'm back with another episode of Idols and Efreetis. We're going to continue along with the Oriental Adventures, going on to the Bushi class now. As we see right here on page 15 of the Oriental Adventures 1E book. If it's your first time here, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you enjoy the videos and want to see future videos, please hit that like button because it definitely encourages me to do more videos. The more view these things get, so if you share it out, the more videos I can do and be happy that I know that people are watching. Thumbs up always gives encouragement. Thumbs down is also fine too if you don't like it, but at least leave a comment as to why you don't like it. Those things help. As long as it's constructive, I am no problem listening to it. With that said, let's head right on to what's going on. The Bushi class is basically the poor man's fighter, the champion of the poor. He is from the low caste in society, a hand for hire, a mercenary, a highwayman, and a wanderer. That's really a good one there. You usually pick this class if, one, you don't really have an idea what you want to play and you're a new player, or maybe you've fallen from another class such as a Kensai, which we'll talk about later on, because you've been dishonored or something like that. They can serve for a time being under a samurai as one of their soldiers when defending something. They use a D10 as their hit die, and they do get a 10% bonus, XP bonus to strength as long as they're 14 plus. They really have no alignment restrictions whatsoever. They use the fighter table for saving throws and attacking. They start with 4 proficiencies if you use those. Some people I know don't use those at all. So it's really up to you how you want to work that. And you can choose to specialize in one weapon, much like a fighter is allowed to do. You're allowed to use any armor and weapons that are available to you. You can restrict it as a DM, so that they can only use weapons of their society. Like I had a DM in the past named Steve, who would only allow people in the Orient to use those weapons because those they're accustomed to. But normal weapons, such as ones from the West, or I shouldn't say normal, core weapons, I should say, such as those in normal D&D, those they would not be able to use because those they are unfamiliar with because they don't know the weight, they don't know how the weapons fly in the air, things like that. So it would take a little bit of time for them to adjust. While the weapons are similar in nature, anybody that has held a sword knows that not every sword is made equally and they don't all swing the same way. So, as stated, they are poor, so they really don't start out with much money, and they begin with basic proficiencies, well, I should say non-weapon proficiencies, such as weaponsmith, armorer, and bowyer. So they get those things for free because they're mostly the people that go around and do the odd-end jobs. They're your blue-collar workers, so to speak. Since they also start out, they don't start out with a lot. They learn to fight without armor because they really can't afford to get large armor or really protective armor. So they learn to be nimble in their ways of fighting. And due to that, the class is granted a +1 bonus on top of everything else that they have, starting at level 1 and increasing every 5 levels by 1 to their armor class as a bonus. So they get that little boost going up in level as they accumulate levels. Now, the Bushi are considered, like I said multiple times, poor, in quotes, and they're wanderers. They don't really have a place to live. They don't have a home, so to speak. They're just mercenaries for hire, wandering, like, have gun, will travel, things like that. They have the ability to find common pieces of equipment. This is also a class ability. In any place they visit, a 20% chance, and it does increase per the size of the place they visit. So if they visit a medium-sized village, it goes up to 25%. A large village is 30%, a small town 40%, and 60% in a large town, and finally 90% in any city. The item they find will either be half price or probably free because it's discarded by someone. It's really up to the DM and the player to work out. These are common everyday items. They're not like special magical weapons or anything. It's just things that people would commonly just throw out, commonly discard because they don't need it. Maybe in your campaign you might think copper is that way, because if you think everyday society, a lot of people take a few pennies, throw it to the side. I've seen many people do that. Trust me. So, hey, maybe your Bushi is checking for small change everywhere and he finds small change. That small change does add up over time. So that's something you can do. They also have the ability to pickpocket, so to speak. And they have a 20% chance at first level, increasing by 2% every level after that. Regardless of what they roll, if they hit that 95%, because a DM obviously can modify a pickpocket roll based on a situation. If they hit 95%, they are noticed and they've failed that roll, regardless of what their percentage is. Now, they go into saying that lawful good characters still can pick pockets in dire situations. Like if they're starving and they really need some money to feed themselves or feed some poor person that they're trying to help, they allow it. Even though lawful good people are known not to pick pockets, there is an exception for this class to do that. They also go on to say, which I really don't wrap my head around this, but chaotic good can only use this pickpocket ability against acknowledged enemies. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I would think maybe lawful good would do that more so than chaotic good, but I guess since they're chaotic, that's how they roll. All right. They also have the key ability, which allows them to gather up their energy and shout into the middle of, say, a battle, which raises their level by 2 levels, gaining the temporary benefits of those 2-level character class. Higher, and also it lasts for 1 turn, but they can only use it once a day. So this allows them, so say they're first level and they use this allows them to act as a 3rd level character for 1 full turn once a day. All the benefits, including hit points, saving throws, whatever else they get, that's what they get. Bushi do also have a sense of code in their life. They follow the Bushido code, much like a Samurai the Warrior code, but they are less restrictive in their honor. And we will get into honor a little bit later on, because that's more of a thing to do by itself. I wanted to go over the classes and then go over the little minor details. Well, I shouldn't say it's a minor detail, but it's a large detail, such as the family cast, the births, how that is handled, and as well as the honor system in here and how that's handled between family honor versus personal honor. It's a lot of paperwork tracking to do. I remember when we were playing this, when I first played this with DM Joe back in the 80s, and this was his favorite adventure book to use when we played, was always this. So we played a lot of, Samurai, Ninja, Bushi, Kensai, whatever. He would always kind of direct us what we had to take and what we had to add to our honor system. While I understood the honor system, I always just refer to the DM to help me out with that, because it really, for a player, their focus should be what to do when it's your turn, what to do in the adventure, and how to have fun. They shouldn't be worried about small, minute math details whatsoever. But, I mean, of course, if somebody likes that, by all means, go for it. But for me, I just want to play. And when I want to play, I look to the DM to be my guide. While the DM could take advantage of that, and there have been some that do that, take advantage of players, I myself won't do that as a DM. If someone obviously is looking to me for advice and help, I will honestly give them my best answer to help them out, even if it kills what I'm doing, because that's what a good DM does. So what do you think about the Bushi class? Do you play it? What race do you use with the Bushi class? Because basically you can do whatever you want in your campaign. So with that said, I'm going to say keep it original, keep it old school, and good night, everybody.